You know, in Washington, D.C. today, there's all kinds of talk about EPA's war on coal. Well, for EPA to have released this rule within hours of their nonsensical waters of the U.S. rule, I'm beginning to think this EPA has declared a two-front war, because they now seem to have a war on farmers. Last Friday, a reporter asked me, "Were you surprised by what EPA did?" And my initial reaction was, no, I wasn't surprised. But as I thought about that later, I'm thinking to myself, why wasn't I surprised? Why shouldn't I have been surprised that this administration is rolling back a program that has been, by any measure, an unmitigated success? And I started to think about that. And the answer is because this administration, this EPA, consistently, when they have been given a choice as to moving the ethanol industry forward or constraining the growth of this industry, this EPA has always made the wrong choice on any number of issues. You don't believe me? When the RFS was first passed in 2007, and for the first time created a carbon scoring method that the agency was intended to implement, the agency got all wrapped around the action of international land use change, ILUC. That hadn't been a subject much debated at all, actually, during the congressional deliberations on this rule. It came about as a consequence of a lawyer opining in Time magazine about how this so-called ILUC was going to result in increased carbon emissions, because if you're growing biofuels, if you're growing crops for ethanol production, clearly you are taking food out of the mouths of babies, and you're going to rip up the rainforest in order to make up for that. And EPA got so excited about this new theory, they included it in their initial carbon scoring in 2008. They didn't have to do that. We were certainly counseling them that that was premature, that based on one paper by a lawyer, not a scientist, and one that had been paid by oil companies, that maybe they should take a step back and not go down that path. No, EPA was enthusiastic about undermining the carbon scoring metric that would serve as the foundation for this program. What's worse, two, they have refused to update that analysis completed in 2008. There has been more that has been added to this dialogue beyond Tim Searchinger's original polemic. Each and every scientific analysis independently done since 2008 have concluded that EPA's calculations with respect to indirect land use change is wrong. Even the California Air Resources Board has recognized that those early assessments are wrong and have changed their model to reduce the impact. EPA won't. The RFA has asked EPA repeatedly, redo your analysis. Why, they say? It doesn't matter. All your plants are grandfathered. We don't care about it. Well, we most certainly care about it. Because EPA's analysis is wrong, it empowers groups like the Environmental Working Group to put out these papers that say we're worse than gasoline from a carbon perspective. And that is intellectually dishonest, it's not accurate, and the only reason EWG is allowed to get away with that nonsense is that EPA refuses to update their analysis. The RVO proposal is that. It's a proposal. And there will be a public hearing in Kansas City on June 25th. I implore you to get to Kansas City. I beg you to make your voice heard. Let's let EPA get it from the heartland of what this proposal has done to this industry. Give them the comments. We submitted hundreds of thousands of comments in 2014 on that ridiculous proposal. We need to do it again. Some have suggested that really the answer is a legislative change. No! There's nothing the matter with the law. There's something desperately wrong with EPA. Legislative change to that agency. Make that agency enforce the law. Tell that agency that we've had enough of their arrogance, enough of their creating statutory authority where none exists and ignoring statutory authority when Congress has been crystal clear. It's not a problem with the statute. It's a problem with an agency that thinks they know better. Now, fact is that the ethanol industry has thrived despite EPA's efforts. And they've thrived in the face of all this nonsense because of the people in this room. And we will continue to thrive. We will. We're going to work on creating export markets. We know that you're going to continue to innovate in both first and second generation technologies. We're going to move this industry forward. EPA can go frack. We are going to move this industry forward. Ray said it better than I. Don't give up. Winston Churchill. I began with one fist quotes. I'm going to end with one fist quotes. When you're going through hell, keep on going. That's what we're going to do, and we will win. Thank you.